Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Thanks for joining me on National Look at Our Weather, including snow across the northern plains that will ensue. Track, timing, and how much snow to worry about. Some thunder for some other places and your forecast beginning right now. And we're going to start with a look at the area watches, warnings, and advisories across the northern plains. And look at this, Alaska, a couple of wintry weather events taking place up there. The blue counties, by the way, winter weather advisories. So we're not too bad a shape up there in the great Northland. As we look into Hawaii, things are looking pretty quiet there. Yep, Hawaii's looking good. The rest of the lower 48, though, wild weather ensuing. Up from the Sierra Nevada and California, straight up into parts of Oregon and western reaches of Washington state. We do have winter storm warnings in red, and that's surrounded by blue counties of winter weather advisories as a storm system spins around Seattle. In the northern plains, northern Rockies, heavy band of snow moving into Billings, Montana. Bozeman still seeing a winter storm warning there. Northeast Montana, winter storm warning in red for wind and snow that's accumulated there. That system is now exiting into North Dakota and Minnesota, where we have a whole host of blue counties here. Those are winter weather advisories. By the way, the light blue, that's bad cold. I mean, really cold air working its way in. A cold weather advisory. We have wind concerns in the Rocky Mountains of southern and western Wyoming, and that's the same thing for parts of Utah and Idaho. And look what's going on. We have some concerns with dry weather in parts of New Mexico as well as West Texas. That's a red flag warning there. Fog in Topeka and southwestern parts of Missouri. That continues down in the Gulf Coast states. Wintry weather taking its path right through the Ohio River Valley as we go through the next couple of days. The storm system moving out of the northern plains will begin to bring a chance for some mixed precipitation tonight and into tomorrow for the eastern part of the United States. From Columbus, Ohio through DC, this pink area here, by the way, for you folks, that's an ice storm warning. We're going to talk about all of it right here. Let's get to the forecast, shall we? Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with regards to the radar and the snow forecast on that future radar. To do that, we're going to start with the European model. The European model, one of a couple models that we're going to blaze through to show you the significant comparisons between these models and areas of agreement on these models as well. Let's do that with a quick look at this particular European model. Now, as we take a look at this model, you're going to see the snow showers making their way into North Dakota zip out and really blossom in the areas of the northern Great Lakes. So Michigan, the UP, going to see some wind and snow and cold, as will look at the gusty wind and cold air blasting into North Dakota. So gusty northwest winds here. Here's the ice potential. Look at this. This is Pennsylvania working its way all the way out to the east. And by the way, those dark blues, brief, very heavy bands of rapidly accumulating snow. Snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour will be likely with this. The good news is it zips through pretty quick, so it's not over one area too long. European model has that system out. Look at this. California, here goes another round, pushing into the northern Rockies, Idaho, all the way into parts of Washington State, Montana, and the Dakotas again Saturday. So Friday night, here it is, and into Saturday, a band of moderate to heavy snow across the Dakotas and into Minnesota, and here we go again. Showers, thunder, heavy rain, and look at this, more ice. Pennsylvania, another round for your Sunday morning. It won't be super slip, sliding away across Pennsylvania. Now, this is West Pennsylvania near West Virginia and Virginia. Look at another heavy band of snow pushing its way through. That's the weekend. Two major systems impacting much of the northern one half of the nation as we go through the weekend ahead. That gets us to the 9th of the month. Looks like it's quiet, but not the case. Another unsettled pattern takes hold as we head into the middle of next week, and this model says we could have a mid-Atlantic storm once again impacting portions of southern New York State, Pennsylvania, and out toward the mid-Atlantic states, while another system makes landfall. A very active pattern is the way it looks right through the middle of the month. Now, let's go ahead and compare another model just to take a peek, and we'll go through the middle of the month. Here's our ice storm moving through portions of Pennsylvania. Very heavy band of snow briefly exits quickly to the north and east. Meanwhile, gusty northwest winds, you know what that means. Lake effect snow setting up shop as we head into the late work week. Here comes the next round, blasting through the northern Rockies, the Dakotas, Minnesota. This model, the American model, has the band of snow a little bit heavier. And again, another chance of ice through places like Maryland, all the way into parts of DC, all the way in through, look at this, Pennsylvania once again. So both models on board with that system. This is a really nasty cold face-slapping cold kind of air mass working its way in to the northern plains. This dives all the way into the central plains, but we maintain a milder forecast down to the deep south. This Arctic air mass gets shaved off down south, and I think we keep from the getting into the deep freeze in Florida with no snow expected for places like Tallahassee this go round. Now, we will have some heavy batches of rain making their way through. That gets us through about the middle of the month. But this model here has another screamer of a storm system developing. It's too early to get too excited about this. All we can say, both models in fair agreement through the weekend ahead with an unsettled pattern continuing into the following week. And why not? Because we can take a look at the Canadian model. Very similar over the next 3 days or so, with one round of ice and snow making its way through the Northeast. Here comes round two, blasting out of the northern plains through the mid-Atlantic states. Again, pink equals ice, bands of heavy snow. So that's a look at the track and timing of these storm systems. Three models agree it's going to be a wild and wintry set and pattern. Now, how much snow are we talking about here with these particular systems? Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And to do this, I do want to preface this whole discussion with the fact that snowfall amounts, when we get out beyond about 3 or 4 days, are really not something to hang your hat on too heavily. But if models agree, they can show a trend. We'll start with the Canadian model. Northern Plains snow, here's what's making its way through the East Coast. Look at this. In parts of upstate New York, heavy snow, but down south in Pennsylvania, not snow. Why? That's because it's wet ice. That's not fun. Look at the snow starting to pile up in portions of northern South Dakota, North Dakota, and most of Minnesota as we go through the weekend ahead. A couple of rounds of snow there, a couple of rounds of snow. By the way, the pink colors would illustrate areas that see significant snow over 8 inches over the course of these two storms. Some of them could be over a foot, but keep in mind, these global sized models tend to overblow the aerial coverage of the storm because of the grid spacing that they have. Keep that in mind. Then we have another round of snow and stormy weather that could make its way through Appalachia, heading into parts of Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia, but that's the Canadian models round. Now, the American model did have some agreement with that Appalachia storm system, and it also has agreement on some heavy bands of snow as we get into the middle of the month. So, well, no deep south snow, that's the good thing, but there'll be plenty of heavy rain. Now, one more quick fast look at the European model showing the track of the snow. Well, let's get to the total snowfall over round 1, 2, and 3. Here's round 1, here comes round 2, zip, okay, and then round 3, whoop, there it is. All three models agree. There are subtle differences when we get out toward the middle of the month, though, on exactly where that lovely storm, as we approach that lovely day, what is it, the 14th? What would that be? Valentine's Day. So that's a look at that. Now let's take a look at the snow that's happening now and get you caught up to date. Hutch's Weather and hutchesweather.com, by the way, one of my website where you can get latest information on many things going on where I reside from here in the Northern Plains, but many surrounding states and provinces I'll share with you. Let's start out in Montana, where the snow is a-flying and the flakes are horizontal in places out there. Northeast Montana has some of the most lofty problems out there. We'll check in on that band of heavy snow pushing into Billings. Here is Northeast Montana. This is out by a place called Poplar, Montana, and Comertown, and it's completely covered out there on the prairies of the Big Sky country of Montana. I-94 moving all the way through North Dakota. Once you cross the border or get close to the border into Montana here near Glendive, and well, it's going to be a pretty white proposition there. Here's a look at a place called Webo and Beaver Hill. Well, that's looking like you'll be chewing through some banks of snow there. At least the visibility isn't terrible as we look into that part of Montana. Now, we do have some heavier snow showers that have hit portions of southern Montana in the mountains south of Bozeman, where we do have quite a number of asterisks or road closures, as a matter of fact, taking place. Roads closed in the red here. We do have some no travel advisories, severe driving conditions, big timber, and in through the Bozeman zone. So as we go down south, here's what it looks like in the elevated terrain. And it looks like that bus stopped there. Well, I don't know if that bus has moved for quite a while. There's a fair amount of snowflake activity on the top of their bus, and the road has a fair flaky composition to it too as well. Heading into North Dakota, we do have some light snow showers pushing into the eastern third of the state, and up in the western part near the oil patch in Williston and points north of there, we have some significant snow coverage on the roads, with the wind picking up tonight as well from the northwest. It's going to be cold with wind chills down around 30 below zero, so you might want to wear a jacket or coat and some mittens and cover up exposed flesh. That's what's going on across the nation. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. It looks like a stormy trek of weather. Taking a look now for those of you who might be in the path of some strong thunderstorms, there's a chance over the next couple of days of seeing a few of those storms become strong, maybe even severe, but the chances are what we call marginal in meteorology. And as we take a look, I want to zoom in on the southern part of the United States here as we look into where the impacts are most likely to take place. So pardon me while I zoom in this map to a more regional view. And we're going to take a look here in that area of Kentucky as well as Tennessee with the ice and the stormy weather that will be making its way through. So showers and thunderstorms on the south side of this first round of system. Notice the ice moving through the Ohio River Valley, northern parts of West Virginia, right into parts of Pennsylvania. But these showers and thunderstorms, a couple of them could be strong, but a better chance may be deeper south in parts of Tennessee and northern Alabama and northern parts of the state of Mississippi as well. The possibility there will continue as the next round of storms develops. See this? Low pressure making its way through. This is on Sunday. Another round of ice for the north in parts of Pennsylvania and northern parts of West Virginia, but we will have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms with locally heavy rain and once again, some flooding concerns there. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. Hey, I have other videos foretelling the storm system. If you want to check those out, I'll put a link right up at the top here for you to take a look at. Otherwise, I sure appreciate you hitting that button right here to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on follow on my Facebook page as well, and we'll keep you updated to area weather. For now, that's my look at the weather. Several models agreeing a wild ride through at least the middle of the month of February. HutchesWeather.com. Anytime, anywhere. Thanks for watching.